These are the top 5 holiday decorations that you can paint both fast and easy. This is the perfect way to add a personalized touch to your home for the holidays, and the best part is that you won't need to break the bank. Starting off with item number 1, custom leather mug holders. We're gonna start with our first and most important step, which is prepping the surface for painting to remove the leather's previous coating. With a cotton ball, I'm just gonna scrub lightly until I see the glossy surface start to become a little bit more matte. That's when I know the coating has been removed. One important step for me is sketching in my design before painting. This really gives me more peace of mind before applying paint, knowing what the design will look like beforehand. Our surface is black, but the pencil lines will still show up nicely on the prepped surface. Next, we're going to apply some paint, but to avoid losing the details we drew in, we're going to fill in one section at a time with white and then with color. This will allow us to separate each section from each other without painting the whole shape white and having to draw back in the details. And now that the green is in place, we can dial in more white in the original shape that was sketched. And we're just going to repeat those same steps to finish off the illustrations on both mug holders. And to protect my project, I'm going to finish this off with some matte forecoat. Moving on to item number 2, custom Christmas slippers. So unfortunately, since these are suede, we won't be able to sketch visible pencil lines on them, but in order to get all of our designs on this, we're going to be using some handy stencils that you can pick up anywhere online. The first thing we'll need is some transfer tape to pick the vinyl up off its backing. While laying all my designs down at once, I'm going to place the transfer tape over them and apply some pressure to make sure it sticks. Then when I lift the tape up, all the vinyl should stick to it and peel away from its backing. From there, I can use tweezers to weed out all the shapes. Now I'm going to apply all stencils at once to various spots on the shoe. I just need to apply a bit of pressure and then peel the transfer tape while the vinyl stays stuck to the shoe. Now we'll need some white paint to color block in the shapes before adding in our final color. You'll want to add enough coats to where you notice the white is more of a stark white and the texture looks more like a screen printed surface. This will make it super easy and smooth to add our color onto. And now once we've achieved that texture, we'll be able to draw in the details with a pencil. From here, I'm going to take my pre-mixed colors and plug them in where they're needed on each design. Be sure to keep the stencil on for this step so you won't have to worry about painting outside the lines. And lastly, we're going to carefully remove the stencil to reveal our finished product. I'm also going to be adding some forecoat to protect each design from scuffing. Let's move on to item number 3, which is a custom welcome sign. I picked up a 12-inch ready to paint circle that's going to look great on the door. First, I used some painter's tape to mask the outline of a box in the middle of the circle. Then I grabbed some white paint and applied multiple light and even coats until the area was more of a bright white. For me, lettering is one of the hardest things to sketch, but that's totally okay because we have stencils to help us out. We're going to repeat the same steps as last time, apply transfer tape, lift the vinyl off its backing, place the stencil in our desired area, and then peel away the transfer tape. Make sure the text is centered beforehand or you'll have to repeat the whole process over again. And then I also have a set of snowflakes that I'm going to apply right below the text. Now, all I have to do is grab some flat black and apply about 3 to 4 coats with drying times in between. Removing the stencil is always very satisfying and makes me super excited to see the result. And if you get any spillage, you can grab some of your background color to paint over the leaks. For the snowflakes, I'm going to color block them in with white and then apply some light blue before slowly and carefully removing the stencil. And to match the matte sheen of the wood, I'm going to finish this off with some flat forecoat. It also came with this very cute bow that I'll be sticking to the top. So instead of painting those really fragile ornaments, you can grab some pre-cut ready to paint ones. And these are really great because you can sketch in anything your heart desires. I'm going to be doing 2 really cute ones, one snowman and one set of Christmas lights that I'll be sketching in as my first step. Now that the sketches are done, I'm going to use flat black and a thin brush to outline all the pencil lines I just created. And now for the fun part, I'm going to be using various colors to make the painting come to life. A lot of these colors are either straight from the bottle or mixed with a bit of white to dull the color down. Once the design is colored, we can start painting in the actual color of the ornament to complete the look. And I'm also going to protect these from scratching and scuffing by applying some flat forecoat. Our 5th and final item might be the most jolly of all, and that's a good old Christmas stocking. My mom would always struggle putting our name on these, so here's a good way to add a monogram to them. Since these are even fuzzier than the suede slippers, we'll want to apply a stencil to get that nice clean lettering. I have a stencil with my initials, so I'm going to follow the same steps as before, apply the transfer tape, remove the vinyl from its backing, apply it to our surface, and then peel away the transfer tape. And for this one, I'm going to run a heat gun over it to really suction it down in place before painting. Now, the only step left here is to apply some white paint within the stencil, but I noticed since the material is so fuzzy, it's going to take a good amount of coats to create create that screen print like surface like we did on the suede. So be patient with this step and be sure to dry thoroughly in between coats in order to build them quicker. Once we get that nice white surface, it's time to remove the stencil. And if there's any spillage underneath, you can grab some scissors to cut away that area for a cleaner look.